Tell me how you got involved, what drew you to the project, and I'd be curious to hear your take on Steve because it's really fascinating role. It must have been fun to play with.
Was. So I got presented. They were kind of looking. They were looking at me. To play this character. They were like, oh, they sent me an interest, and I read it, and I was very intrigued in it when it came down to what the Oak Room is, and the many facets and layers that this story has. Initially, really a play on screen. And I was very interested to see what Cody and the Black Fawn team wanted out of it. And I had a conversation with Cody, and we hit it off. And we're like, okay, we want the same things. We want the same goals. And out of this. And I jumped in wholeheartedly. And the production was a great group. All the actors. I only worked with one actor. But he was unbelievable. It was just such a well-rounded story when it came down to just each of these characters going through their thing, going through their life. I'm sorry, I got this thing. And kind of how they each develop their own mentalities and their own real life experiences that all kind of interwoven into their realities. And for me, that's unique to any story. They all have that. You know, we all have our own truth. We all have our own reality. But the thing is it doesn't always read. It's a very hard thing for that to kind of that balance. And I felt that this story was very well balanced.
And it's hard to peg down because, you know, I would kind of traditionally think of it as a horror film, but that's maybe misleading in a lot of ways because I think really the main part of it's almost like a drama thriller, maybe horror.
I think because there's aspects of horror, but there's not a monster. You know, there's not an actual there are things that go bump in the night, but at the end of the day, I think the encompassing aspect of this is it's this thriller, this wanting more, wanting to go deeper into this story, and then this aspect of drama of these families, of these people that have drama, and then you have this aspect of kind of these characters almost suffer, you know, they've been through a trauma. So there's kind of these roller coasters of emotion that go through each of these characters, and that they're all facing their own reality and owning their own realities. And I think for me, that's something that's again a very hard thing to show in a movie. You know,
I hear you. It's unconventional in the sense of I can't really think of too many films to compare it to, which is fantastic. I also love the clear arc that almost every single character has this very clear arc that changes how you see them from the beginning to the end.
Yeah, I think that was the one thing that was when you read the script that these characters had a beginning and they had an end. And they all, and I think for what made it work is every character, and this could be to Cody's skill in him, is that they all had an intention. You know, having an intention for anything is a key facet if you want it to grow, want it to evolve. If you have no intention for it, it doesn't. There's no relevance to it. So all of these characters, and that was one of the things is what are their intentions? What are they trying to get out of each other? And that was something that Cody, the director, he really brought up more often than not, I feel, is that intention, that goal to get that watch, to tell this story, to not allow this punk to do this. You know what I'm saying? They all had a goal. And at the end of the movie, they all accomplished it. A lot of times with series, they don't accomplish their goals. You have your star character, and he accomplishes a goal. And all the other characters just follow that goal, right? In most shows. And I feel that that's not reality. We all have a goal. You have a goal. I have a goal. There's everyone in this world has a goal. But and that's what drives us. But if your supporting characters don't have a goal, they have no drive. And I feel like a lot of times that's what happens is we see characters in television and film that are there just because they needed to fill the space. And these characters in this show are not space fillers. They're all stars of their own individual arcs. And that's what makes this unique.
I also love that there's not too many characters. It really is such a tight, small group of characters that you follow through the story that it feels very intimate.
And it was. And during my period of filming, I only encountered one other actor during my whole time. It was me and Peter, and that was it. that was the name of the game. And you know what? I was very lucky that he's such a talented actor, and that there's so much to go off of and work with, and because that could make it difficult only having one other person for the whole movie, or being alone, even. And I think they really compartmentalized these characters in a way that felt real.
That's cool. Well, are you a fan of, I guess before I get to the other question, did you watch stuff like this, or did you research anything before you did this, or is it really just, the script was the document?
For me, the script is a document. When I get a script, when I get a story, I do research of kind of what genre I want to play into, if that makes sense. I kind of like, if I'm making a horror movie, I want to go watch horror movies and say, okay, these are the parts that I like of these stories. So maybe I can put emphasis on that. And the thing is that that's a double-edged sword. Because then you recreate things, and then they're like, oh, that's a Hitchcock move right there. That's a Quentin Tarantino shot right there. You know what I'm saying? It's those like generic but iconic shots. And for me, I find it's important to create a new vision in directorials, and a new vision in characters. And so when I get scripts, when I get projects like this, I leave that up to circumstance and teamwork. So
I also want to talk to you about, your advocacy for, people with disabilities working in Hollywood. What has that been like, and what's it like now? Is it improving? Is there things that you're seeing?
Now it's dead. Now it's really hard with COVID, because COVID affects people at high risk, which are pretty much everyone with a disability. So really, COVID put a damper on that. But before that, progress, very much so. And I've even progressed now when it comes to diversity and disability rights in the media. I mean, with all these movements are happening, people are more aware than ever to get involved, to realize that we need to do these things to live in a better world. And but when we have progress, I mean, you're seeing more shows that have accurate representation of diverse individuals, from everything from disability to people of color to languages. There's growth. Is it where we want it to be? I mean, is anything where we want it to be? I mean, people said we would have flying cars by now. So it's kind of one of those situations. that we can always do better, but one person can change the world, but the thing is that one person can't change all the people in it. It takes a lot of people and a lot of advocates to change the mentality of what is happening in our society, to what is happening to each other. And but I see growth, I see prosperous, I see things that are happening right now. There's a lot of people though that are losing their jobs and that are losing their benefits and that do need a lot of help. So we'll see what comes out of this trial period of all of our lives right now. But I find more often than not, when we're put the human species itself, when we're put into this situation, we grow, we prosper, and we make the best of this. So I'm excited.
That's awesome. Well, it's great to hear what you're doing. The other side of this is, I have to ask at least a little something about
Do it.
Breaking Bad.
That guy.
Well, what is it like now? Because it's been a few years, but the show had such an indelible mark on people. Do you still get a lot of people talking to you about the show?
Very much so. The show's still alive. People. Yes, Breaking Bad is over. We're not filming anymore. We've closed that chapter of that story. But with Better Call Saul and El Camino, we're still on the air. Like I may not be in that show, but my character's legacy is. The people that are involved with the heritage of that show are still very strong in the industry and are still creating works. So it's great. It's great to see the prosper of that time.
Do you have a favorite part of having played this iconic character in this iconic show?
I love the pilot. The pilot's my favorite episode, my favorite scenes. Everything about it's what I love, and I wouldn't be an actor. I wouldn't be in the industry if it wasn't for Breaking Bad. Just a fact. I wouldn't want to put up with half the stuff I have to put up with if I didn't have the show Breaking Bad on my belt. If that makes any sense. It's not an easy business, but having a show like Breaking Bad allows me to have a lot more leverage and the ability to do the things that I want to do within the industry, and it's special. It's a special show, and it changed all of our lives.
That's cool. Well, the last thing I want to ask is, can you tell me a little bit about the shows or the films you were working on before COVID happened that I remember coming out, like Isaac?
So Isaac is still in production. We have 1 week of filming left. Yeah, sadly, by the looks of it, you would think it's finished. but we have 1 week of filming left. It's all edited except for this one scene, 2 scenes. Just such a pain. But I was very happy that the Oak Room is out and circulating, because I really had a lot of fun doing that. We shot up in Hamilton, Canada, and it was an amazing time of my life to be able to work with that group and spend time with the Black Fawn team and all that. I really enjoyed that. Isaac, which is a disturbing crime thriller, I guess is a good way to put it. Psychological thriller, which I'm very, very, I like. That's my type of genre. I had another movie that came out this past year called Standing Up for Sunny, an Australian-based film that's been doing pretty well, and in a great group. It was a Ticket to Ride film, which is a government incentive film-based program based in Australia, with some amazing actors and actresses. I have this other movie called Triumph that I've been working on for quite some time. Terrence Howard, Grace Victoria Cox, Colton Haynes. We're actually in the middle of distribution deals right now for it. So trying to really get that done, and we have some editing differences that we're still hashing out, but it's coming together quite nicely. Really, my focus over the last year, I became president of my family foundation this past August, not this August, but last August. So that's really put a lot of responsibility on me when it comes to just information and just doing things like that. So I've been doing that and working here in Brownsville, Texas, doing a lot with the city here, doing a lot with different organizations here, and Austin as well. So I'm busy. In production, I have 3 different projects that I'm working on. I'm actually trying to get one made. We're supposed to be shooting on the 24th of this month, and have it released on a Halloween day. But we're busy. We're busy. We're working. It's a crazy time to be working, but you know what? The people that are working really hard, and hopefully everyone can find that place, you know.
Very cool. Well, thank you very much for the time. It was a pleasure chatting.